All right, guys, we made it. We're in episode 15. We're going to be doing the mix down today. Full disclaimer, I'm not going to get too in depth with the mix down because I don't want to make this an hour-long video. I'm going to try to keep this under 15 minutes. So before we get started, I forgot that I never made a pre-drop fill before this little drop here. So I did something real quick, just took an Evolution of Sound vocal. I even put the claps and the snares on the same channel and then put the EQ8 on it and filtered in the snare so it sounds something like this.
After party.
All right. So that was just something I forgot to do in the previous episode. So let's get into it. The first thing you want to do is we're going to open up the mixing board. You could just swap out between the arrangement view and session view by pressing tab on your keyboard. So we're going to anchor our kick to -6 dB, which we already did in part 1. Let me go to the kicks. Perfect. All right. So then we have the bass. And what I'm going to do with the bass is I think we already did it when we did the bass, but I did do a lot of mixing as I went along with this. We did a LFO tool to sidechain it to the kick because you don't want the bass hitting when the transient of the kick hits. The transient of the kick is this initial click in the beginning of the kick that cuts through the mix. So what I do is I open up the kick so I can see what it looks like. I'm going to zoom in to one single kick, and we're going to get it to be about the length of the LFO tool bar. That's about it. So you can see this is where the kick starts right here, and we made a shape that basically it cuts out when the kick is hitting, and then it's coming in as the kick is going away, and when there's no kick, it's at full volume. So that is what we did for the bass line. And also, guys, when I do mix my own tracks, I do file, save as, and create an entirely new project and freeze and flatten the sound. So I'm working only in audio. I'm not going to do that for this. Like, as you can see, we're still working in MIDI. Okay. So anywhere where there's a kick, we're sidechaining that to the kick. I think I did it with the filtered bass as well. Yes, I did. So perfect. Now we're done with the kick. I mean the bass. And also just get the levels right. It should be sitting under the kick. So let's just make sure. Oh, that's pretty sexy when it's just the kick and the bass. All right. So next we're going to do the drums. All right. So we have the claps we'll do first, actually. Drag those up. So we have the claps. There's not going to be much. We're just going to be doing some EQing, and we're going to create some return channels. We're going to create 2. We're going to name one reverb, and one's going to be delay. And we'll create one more too for compression. Okay. So basically what a return channel is doing is you're going to put audio effects on this channel, and you're going to send the sound to this channel to get processed through that and just have just the wet signal of that coming through here. And this is still going to be 100% dry from whatever you have in these. So it's not affecting the original sound. Okay. So let's see how the claps sound. All right, they sound pretty good. Sitting a little bit low. You could drag that up a tiny bit. All right, and now we're going to go in and look at them where they are hitting. And some people don't like to let it hit on the kick. I don't mind letting it hit on the kick. So as you can see, this is obviously where the kick is going to be. We'll go to 1/4 bar right there. So I already dragged it out so it's not hitting on the exact transient of the kick. It's going to add some groove to it. So we are fine with that. But we are going to send it to the reverb. First, we're going to have to add a reverb. I'm going to use the Ableton Reverb because if you guys are watching this video, you probably don't have all the plugins. So we're going to drag a reverb into here. We're going to do a low cut and a little bit of a high cut, but not much. All right. We're going to do high quality. Bring the dry wet all the way up. The decay time should be fine at 1.2. And we're going to just bring this in. So now you can hear the little reverb, but it's not affecting the claps. So I'm going to drag in a little bit more. All right, cool. I like that. So the claps are done. We have the perks. Let's see how the perks sound. Hold on 1 second. I think I am just going to compress this a tiny bit. So we're going to add in a compressor. Some people call this New York compression. We're going to bring the threshold way down. We're going to drag this in. All right, so let's see how this sounds. All right, we don't need that one. Okay, cool. I don't really want any reverb on that because it has like some resonating frequencies, and I'd rather not do that. So next is the hats. We have the upbeat hats. We can add a little bit of delay with these. I'm going to go to echo. I missed the ping pong delay. Okay, cool. And I'm not going to add any reverb. Maybe we'll add a tiny bit of reverb. All right, the shakers, we are going to add just a little reverb. Actually, no, we're not, because I think we have reverb on here. We want that back in the mix. So we have the offbeat snares and the offbeat claps. We're just going to add some reverb to those. I want a little bit less compression. Okay. For the cymbal, I'm going to leave that alone. And what we can do is the cymbal we're going to leave alone. Thought I had rides in here somewhere. I guess not. All right. So now I'm going to go back into the mixing board, and I'm going to just check the levels of everything. So you don't want it to be too compressed, and you don't want it to be too open. So let's just see how this sounds all together. I think I'm going to bring the upbeat hats up a little bit. I'm going to bring the claps up and take away a little bit of reverb. All right, cool. So we're done with the drums now. Next thing we're going to do is the white noise, and we're going to be doing the LFO thing that we have from the bass. We can actually just, to save time, I'm going to copy and paste it into the white noise group. But what we don't want is we don't want any side chaining when there's no kicks. So when there's no kicks, like for instance right here, we're gonna take it off. Anywhere else where there's no kick? Nope, looks like we got a kick everywhere else pretty much. So that's what I wanted to do, just so nothing's really getting in the way of that kick. You want to make sure your kick cuts through the mix, and what you're going to do to help that is by side chaining almost every single sound to the kick. Not every single sound, but just certain sounds to help it pop out through the mix. So now we have this. We're going to copy, and we can use this for all the sounds that are going through the mix. The effects sound. All right. So let's just check the levels of the white noise first. See how it sounded.
After party.
All right, the riser, I feel like we could let in a little more low end and actually shape the sound so we get a little more mid frequencies with it.
After party.
All right, so something like that.
After party.
All right, we're gonna bring this white noise up a little bit. First, let me actually, I want to reduce the volume gradually before the drop.
After party.
Yeah, so I'm going to bring the volume up in this little one right here where it goes with the crash. Let's see how the crash sounds. All right, yep, I like that a lot better. So we'll do the same thing here where we reduce the volume. And right here. And I'm not getting meticulous with it. I'm just bringing it down. They're not all the exact same. So the white noise is done as well. Now the effect sounds. So I'm going to cut out some low end on this one, but bring the volume up a tiny bit. And we're going to open up this, and we're going to take that off, and we're going to do so I like that a lot better. So now I'm just going to bring these up somewhere around the same spot so you get that tail to be in the mix a little bit longer. I don't want it to cut out too fast, so something like that. And now we have the effects done. Let's get to the snare builds. So yeah, I actually don't like cutting out too much. I think I cut out a little too much low end, so I'm just gonna bring these down a little bit. Yeah, this one doesn't really need the low end. This is like a support snare, so let's see.
After party.
All right, cool. So, how long are we recording for? I can't really see how long we've been recording for, but all right, let's get into the fills real quick. Yeah, these I'm just gonna drag the whole group into a little bit of reverb, a tiny bit of delay. Yeah, we'll add a little bit of compression as well. A little more reverb. A little more delay as well. All right, so as you can see, that's way too fucking loud. We're gonna just drag that down. A little more, actually. Okay. So that's it for that. And guys, please, like I said, I'm really just going through this as quick as possible because I am trying to keep this in one episode. So this already has the reverb on it, so that's why I'm not going to be sending these to anything. I think, no, this doesn't have any reverb, but this has some panning on it.
After party.
But what we can do is copy and paste this to the group. And we're going to do the same thing with the synths real quick. We're just going to check the levels of everything real quick. All right, sounds pretty good. I'm happy with those levels. So also, guys, when you are going through and setting your levels, we can go back and forth through the arrangement, but I don't want to like copy their exact mix down too. His exact mix down. I keep saying their exact mix down, but I just want to go through. You don't really want to just keep listening and adjusting things while they're soloed. You want to hear how it sounds in the entire track. So you want to play every track together in full. So you're not just like going, oh, yeah, I want to lower this. No. You want to see how it sounds compared to every other sound because your listeners aren't just going to be listening to one sound in the track. So, yep, we got the LFO tool in the synths. And I'm going to be doing this as well where I'm just going to be setting the levels here. So, and guys, I know this synth sounds terrible, but I don't want to waste time finding like the perfect synth, but it will get the job done. All right, that doesn't sound bad. I really like these synth hits. These, I think, came out great. This, we might be able to bring up a tiny bit. And we're going to add some delay to these. Bring the delay up a little bit. Okay. What do we have next? These. All right, and what I am gonna do, just real quick, I'm gonna drag this out and just make it so it has one more hit. And we're gonna extend that note too, actually. Command E. So now it's got like that little extra hit. Yep, I like that. That's cool. All right, the synths are done. Let's just check an EQ8 on this group. Yeah, it sounds like it's pretty good with the EQing. I'm going to leave that alone. Next, we have the ear candy. Oh my God, it's so small. All right. That can use some delay. Tiny bit of reverb, tiny bit of compression. This, we're just going to compress this a tiny bit to make it a little bit louder. Yeah, add a little reverb to it. Maybe a little more. Okay. So now we have Ear Candy 3. We're going to bring this down. Dragging a lot of reverb for that one. All right, and that's it. I'm not even going to really mix the pre-drop vocal, but what you would do is obviously some EQing, some gain staging, and stuff like that. So that is a very quick, very broad version of a mix down. Like I said, guys, normally a mix down for like a full, like serious track that I'm making could take me like 10 to 15 hours sometimes. Usually between like 8 to 10 hours, but that is it. Tomorrow we have the final episode. We're gonna master this fucking track, and I'm gonna post the project in the description for you guys. So thank you for watching. Thank you for staying tuned. If you have been following, I truly, truly appreciate it. I will see you tomorrow.